Hello and welcome to the Tarkis Zone. Thank you for joining me. We're going to be talking about the game Crossout, and what I'm going to actually be focusing on today is the raid aspects of the game. Now, if you're not familiar with the game, there are two types or a few types of game modes. And under Battle, when you click Battle, you get these tabs. And these missions are your PvP missions. And then you've got this tab, which is raids. Now, the easiest one that I've found in raids is the heist, especially the easy heist for only 20 oil, because you can just put a speedy rig and just run it and go grab the loot and run it back, and you can easy peasy get it done. I mean, it's ridiculous how fast you can do the heist. Well, that's not available. The raids refresh, like here it's saying the new missions will be available in 10 minutes. So if I waited 10 minutes, this will get reshuffled and I could do different missions. Defense is not too hard. You just basically, it just takes longer. You basically defend 3 oil rigs, not at the same time, one at a time. You get waves, you get basically a total of 3 waves, and then you go on to the next rig and you defend it. Really easy peasy stuff. What I want to tell you about the raids is do not bring your PvP rig into raids. It doesn't make any sense, because in player versus player, you're basically hopefully you're designed to do burst DPS because the matches are only 3 minutes. Whereas a raid, depending on what raid you're in, could go up to 15 minutes depending on what you're doing. And if you're also bringing drones into a raid, that's going to really piss a lot of people off. And you might say to yourself, well, I just like to run drones so I don't have to do much, and I think I'm doing well in raids. Well, you're really not, because once you deploy your 4 units of drones, you've got nothing else to help the raid. So you definitely want to enter a raid with weapons that have recharge abilities and that don't give up. I mean, cannons is okay, because in a raid the cannons will recharge over a certain amount of time, even when you use your 12. But when it comes to flying drones or just those stationary drones, once you've used them, you're not very helpful for a raid, especially if you're doing the harder type raids, where, like this raid, the convoy raid, the third one down here, cost 40 oil to get into it, or 40 fuel to get into it, and that raid's going to be a little harder. And if you're going into that raid with only quick DPS types of weapons that can't recharge, like you blow your drones halfway through, then you're just there mooching off everybody. So you want to bring in a rig that makes sense. I keep on saying oil, but it's fuel. Right now, if you look at the top by my name, you'll see I got 120 out of 200 fuel. Every day the game will refresh your fuel to 200. You can earn more fuel in missions, PvP missions. And in those missions, you want to run fuel barrels in your rig. So if you've got, I'm just going to go back to the garage so I can show you what I'm talking about. If I go to build and do a backspace or tab, then you find your fuel barrels. Now, see this fuel tank right here? That's what I'm talking about. If you run that with this other fuel barrel, these 2 fuel barrels here that I'm lighting up here, this blue one and this white one, if you run those in PvP matches, you'll earn fuel, and that fuel can be used to do the raids. So let's go back to my rig here. As you can see, in a raid, try to go as high of a gear score as you can go, because the raid is going to be the difficulty in which you're going into. So it's not like PvP where you're trying to balance your power score with people that you can compete with. Dump as much on your rig as possible so that you can be defensive. I use all machine guns. I find it no reason to do anything other than that at this point. If I had better weapons that, like missile weapons and stuff like that, I would use that. But in most cases, I can run this rig and I can survive a raid. There's no problem. I don't need to run fuel barrels in this rig. Okay, you don't need it because in raids you can't earn fuel. So you might as well just make sure you don't go into the raid with fuel barrels on your rig. I go into raids and I see people with their PvP builds. They got fuel barrels, they got drones, and it's like, dude, that's perfect for PvP, but for raids, those don't go over that well with your group, because it's like then you're basically useless to most of the group halfway through. All right, well, with this rig, again, I just packed on what I could, and I'm going to go to battle. I'm going to go to raids. I'm going to go to cargo race, because with cargo race, those are kind of quick too, especially if the team spreads out in the beginning. That's what I like people doing, is they kind of spread out, because the AIs are the intelligent bots that they have attacking you, are not going to do much damage to you in an easy raid, a 20 fuel raid. So what I end up doing, like these guys here are going to go all down to collect that. What I try to do is, and I hope other people do, is kind of just spread out. This way you can get it done, and you can help from a distance. Look at this. I can fire from a distance to help them. So they're picking up that cargo, right? And look at the odds. I'm at the zone already. This is what I'm talking about. This is how you get done quicker, is you spread out, and when they randomly pop the cargo crates, you're just there to sit on them. If you want to try to collect kills in a game like this, that's okay too, because there are missions, daily missions, that say, okay, I need you to kill 100 AI bots in an easy raid. So you kill the bots, and you let the rest of the team pick up the crates. So I'm already near it, because I didn't go with all the rest of my crew. I let them do their own thing. They should be spreading out and just getting this done quick. See, they're already over there because they haven't left that area, so they can go pick up those crates easy peasy. So if you're in a group that knows how to do a cargo race, and they don't go around like drones all together, then you get it done quick. But if you end up in a group where they're all together and they're all packed tight together, and they're just making it worse. They're just taking forever to get it done. So they're kind of grouping up again. See, I'm already halfway to this one. Look. So don't go around. If you're in a cargo race, just try to play smart. Just try to get it done. In my case here, I don't have any quests. I just want to end it. I want to get my copper. I want to move on to the next one, if that's possible. When it comes to raids, to me, the easy raids, I kind of just like to go quick, burn through them, get my copper for the day, go through my oil. Now the harder raids are more difficult, and I do want to warn you a little bit, is they're quite difficult. And the below 40 fuel, I keep on saying oil, but I mean fuel. If you blow 40 fuel and you don't get it, that's 2 easy matches you could have done, and that would have been a guaranteed 10 copper. So you're kind of taking a gamble that the people you're playing with are not a pack of idiots on those harder matches, because if they are, you just wasted the fuel. You're not going to get it back. You just blew 40 fuel on a match you couldn't possibly get done. And the other thing is the easy matches. These easy raids allow, I think, up to 6 people in them. The raids that are higher, like the 40 fuel, the 100 fuel, they only allow 4 other people in the match, and that's it. So it makes it even more difficult. Well, that's it. That's really the raid. I mean, that's a raid, quick raid. I got my coupons. I got my copper that I wanted to earn. Oh, I guess I was doing I do have see, it says this raid. I have machine gun quests that I have to do. So I did have a quest that I was running. But really, that's it in a nutshell. That's raiding. And you will enjoy raiding when you're doing the harder ones. I think if you have a smart team doing the harder ones, there's a lot of strategy involved, that's fun. But if you're just trying to get some copper real quick, doing an easy raid, you don't have to go all Einstein on it. Just try to get it done, do the best you can. You're not going to score the highest reputation in those matches. I think if you do I think we had one there. Let me go here. not cargo, a convoy. If you do a convoy, you end up scoring about 1,000 reputation out of that. Cargo races around 600 reputation. PvP match, you get up to 4,000 reputation. So you're not doing raids for reputation. You're doing raids to get the copper and the rewards from them. And you should be doing them, because the other thing about the game is to upgrade your co-drivers, you need resources. Like to upgrade this driver, I needed 100 copper. Now it's the second thing that's needed. And then I needed 80 coupons and 900 scrap metal. Well, that gets harder as you go down. Like his next one, you need 300 copper. So you either will have to buy that copper, or you would have to go grind these raids to get your 5 copper, and then do it from that way. And that's what I do. Is I go in the raids, I try to use up my 200, I get as much copper as I can for the day, and then I move on. So hopefully that copper will add up, so I can level my co-driver. Copper is also used to build items in this game. So if you're trying to build something, you might need copper. And to go to the marketplace and buy the copper can get quite expensive, especially when you can just earn it. Well, that's all I have for today. Thank you for joining me. This has been the Tarkis Zone.